For the residents of Wraysbury, it's been a very bad week.
So many houses lost, so many people's lives ruined.
And I'm sure lots of residents have had lots of bad days, and I felt like I couldn't cope. I felt like I was having a breakdown, to be honest.
One of the major concerns people have is that if they leave their homes, then the hobbledehoys will be in and stealing whatever they can lay their hands on.
With much of the village under several feet of water, many have been left stranded, isolated and fearful. Local volunteers spent several days offering what help they could.
We need the army here now.
Before the army finally arrived to supervise operations and relieve some of the pressure. For many, though, there's been no choice but to grit their teeth and tough things out.
When I saw the water rising, it just made me feel sick. It's coming in again. And it's just the mess and the disruption to life.
For 30 years, Tim O'Keefe has run a boat repair yard from his Wraysbury home, perched right by the river.
I don't have a normal day-to-day life at the moment. We struggle around up here with the dog.
The water in the ground floor of Tim's home was thigh-high. The only place to live, upstairs.
I've brought some essentials up, the microwave and a small mini grill. So I can just keep hot food going, really. Rinse plates out with boiling water in the bathroom and live off microwave meals and frozen chips. The toilet is working, although I only flush it once a day. I'm on a septic tank, so I actually dread to think where it's going. It's a little bit third world at the moment.
Like many of Wraysbury's residents, Tim has been checking up on his more vulnerable neighbours.
Hello, Christine, are you in? No, there's no sign of life. And there's not a dinghy tied to the railings, so she's probably out at the moment.
All through last week, evacuations continued. This was a baby.
Just want to get the baby out
That's your baby?
Yeah, 3.5 weeks. I mean, he's fine, to be honest with you, because he doesn't really know what's going on, but I've got a 4-year-old who wants to see his mummy. Oh, I'm going to cry. So I'm just going to go and have a break. And then we'll all hopefully be together at the weekend.
The village may have taken a soaking, but the floods have proved, once again, there's no shortage of community spirit.
Okay, there's a step here.
Anna Gibson was out volunteering night and day.
I'll give you a holler if anyone says I need anything. I get about 2 hours sleep every night for the last 72 hours. I've been doing stuff like going out, knocking on doors, asking people okay. We ask them if they need food. We've been taking food parcels and gaffer taping up doors, which also works as a form of waterproofing.
Anna grew up in the village primary school, where her father worked as caretaker. Since the floods, school has most definitely been out. The building has been acting as a command centre. Many of the village's children have been sent away to wait for the floods to subside. For some parents, this was painful.
Coping has been very difficult. I have 3 small children, ages 11, 12 and 14, and all 3 of them are staying at 3 different addresses at the moment. I really miss the children not being here. There's no laughter in the house and it's really quiet and I don't like it. I want my children home. When the last flood happened, our neighbours lent us some canoes, but then soon the novelty wore off when the flooding came back and it was a bit more of a situation.
Hi Cameron, it's Mummy.
Yeah, you can come home soon. We're just waiting for the water to go down a bit more.
Love you too.
Bea isn't the only one who's had to send her children away. Tim's son normally lives and works in the family boatyard, but business has ground to a halt.
I've had the business here for 30 years. To see it like this is just demoralising, depressing. Life's work is, for want of a better word, going down the drain. It's cost me thousands and thousands already in lost work and damaged equipment. I should probably be working most of the rest of the year just to pay off the debts I'm going to accumulate through not working. We've actually thought about setting up a few times. It wouldn't take much more now just to lock the doors and walk away. I mean, it really, really does grind you down. Everything you try and do just ruined.
Tim could only wait for the water levels to fall, but other villagers were fighting to hold them back.
Well, what we've got are submersible pumps, and they're basically pumping out all the water that's under the floor of the house to try and save the house from flooding. So what we did, we got a circular saw out, literally carved a big hole in the floor. Took a couple of minutes when you're rushing, but and then we've sunk these submersible pumps here.
And it worked, as David Randall knew, because as well as the pumps, he had a ruler.
Right, we're just going to do a bit of a gauge here, which we've been doing all along, just to see where the water is. We got 10 inches. If it had come above 10 inches, we'd have been flooded. Outside, it's probably about 3 inches above this level here.
It's been a wretched few days for Wraysbury, and it could be months before normality returns.
Immediately in front of us here you have the children's playground, and beyond that is the village green, and that is where they play cricket in the summer, but there's no cricket being played now. It's more for boating than for cricket.
But these are scenes many residents have witnessed before, living through floods in 2003 and even in 1947.
I was 9 then, and we were evacuated by the army on the Sunday morning. And we were away for 6 weeks, staying with my aunt and uncle in Feltham. And when we came back, it was another 6 weeks before we could go out without wellies on.
So it was much worse then?
Oh yes, it was worse than this.
Of course, that may be little consolation for flooded residents, but after several days, the water levels were falling and relatives returning.
She's back!
She's back, yeah, she just got back. This is Sophia.
It's nice to have Sophie back home. At least I've got one child out of 3 home.
What do you think?
It was so tidy when we left.
I know.
But now it's just ruined.
Meanwhile, Tim is concerned about the family dog, 13-year-old Buffy.
What would happen to her if you took her into the flood?
It would kill her. Yeah, between the cold water and the strong stream, and of course all the muck that's in the water, it really would finish her off.
Morning, Tim.
Morning, how you doing?
All right, thank you. Thank you. Okay.
And there's little to be done now, but keep well stocked with supplies and prepare for the hard work ahead.
It's all very well bringing the soldiers in at this point, but once the water's gone down and we're clearing the pollution and the sewage from the roads and the gardens and all the mess, that's when we really need the help. Many of us don't have flood insurance because we're uninsurable, which means it would be really nice if the government could help us out a little bit, or even just kick the insurance companies into helping us a little bit.
So when will all this be over? Well, of course, there's only one place to look for an answer: the river. And at the moment, it's still flowing strongly. It's deep and powerful.